very much. Thank you. Okay, we're going to 279. Matthew McGuire. Matthew McGuire? Matthew McGuire? Nope. Okay. Jen Danch? Jen Danch? Jen Danch? Nope. 282. Sister Susan Moran. Sister Susan Moran? Sorry. Okay, sorry. 283. Casey Scott? Or Cassie Scott? Cassie or Casey?
Cassie.
Cassie, I thought, okay. Cassie Scott, you have 3 minutes, starting now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I think I just want to step back and have all of us wonder, who is KPMG and what is it they do throughout the world? And it seems to me that what they do is they go to cities and liquidate their assets. So I think we really need to look at what's happening here as part of a global situation and really fight as hard as we can. I know about this personally a bit because although I was born in Canada, I grew up in California. And 30 years ago there, we saw our property taxes slashed. We've seen our vehicle taxes slashed. And the city where I used to live, which 30 years ago was a safe and wonderful place to live, now is a place where there's regularly automatic weapon fire, where the school nearby had the wires stripped out of its exterior wiring because people were recycling the metal because they needed money, where my car had its catalytic converter stolen 3 times, again for quote-unquote economic opportunity recycling. So this is the cost. It's not the cost in 1 year. It's the cost in 30 years. Right now, in that city in California, the social service network is the prison system. And I'm telling you, that's not an efficient way to do your social services. So I think we really need to have not a 1 year slash the assets look at the budget, but really projecting into down into time and what this truly is going to cost a city that works so well right now. So let's not take apart the services of our city. It's much better to pay some property taxes, to pay some vehicle registration taxes, than to really create a social nightmare. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Question. Please don't go away.
Excuse me, Councillor Perks has a question for you.
Thank you. I was interested in your comment about KPMG and their role worldwide. One of the things that they have made a recommendation to do in many different categories is to outsource or privatize assets we have. When a government outsources or privatizes assets, law firms, engineering firms, consulting firms are often paid enormous fees to provide valuation and do transactions. Do you think it would be prudent of us to bar KPMG from participating in the valuation of any asset they've recommended that we sell?
I think that would be extremely prudent. And just to continue the answer, after when KPMG goes to the cities and is partnering with different people to strip their assets, then the next thing they do is they sell their services as consultants, because as they say in their own literature, it's very complicated when you have these private-public partnerships and how to do it, and so they sell themselves as experts.
You only have a minute to answer the question.
It's very expensive.
Thank you very much. Councillor Davis?
I just wondered if you had any other insights into KPMG and the consultants. You may not know, but we have a roster of about 14 sets of consultants that we're using for efficiency reviews as well. Mm-hmm. Wonder if you have any further thoughts on the role of consultants.
Well, KPMG is as we probably know, one of the 4 big ones in the world. And they've been involved in a number of controversies. They've consistently recommended illegal tax reform practices. And in fact, they settled, I think it was a $500 million case in the U.S. They worked with companies to create illegal tax shelters. And even after that, they continue to do it. So it seems like they're part of a philosophy of basically stripping down government.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? No? Thank you very much. Okay, 284, Jimmy McGough. Okay. 284 is on there. 285, Nicholas Sales. Up there. 286, Anna Nago. 286, Anna Nago? No, okay. 287, Trang Nguyen. 287, Trang Nguyen. Okay, no. 288, Haran Vijayathanam. I know I screwed that up.
That's fine.
I apologize. How do you say your name, sir?
Vijayanathan.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't mind you making a mistake on my name.
Sorry. Okay, you've
That's
got 3
okay.
minutes, sir. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mayor and Councillors, and thank you very much for the opportunity. And my name is Haran Vijayanathan, and I'm speaking here on behalf of the Alliance for South Asian AIDS Prevention, also known as ASAP, the acronym. I have been involved with ASAP for many years, and I avail of services the agency offers and also volunteer my time and expertise to contribute to the impact ASAP has on the large South Asian population in the City of Toronto. My comments here today are in response to recommendations in the KPMG report to defund the Community Partnership and Investment Program, and specifically the AIDS prevention and drug programs outlined on page 70 and 71 of the report. On page 70, the report states, "These services could be reduced or eliminated, although potentially impacting vulnerable individuals." We are here today to say that the impact to vulnerable individuals is not potential, but very real. Our 2 city-funded programs impact South Asian women, youth, gay and bisexual men, and work to promote safer sex and HIV prevention, which are topics highly stigmatized within the South Asian community. The city funds 2 projects and that reach South Asians with a message that keeps people safe and healthy. In 2010-11, the program year for ASAP city-funded projects, we reached over 6,225 South Asians in Toronto. And we did that through culturally appropriate information about safer sex, either in the language through a translated brochure or by talking to someone they could relate to. Our South Asian members are mobilizing, and they're going to continue, and we're going to continue to support them in that effort. You may think that it is simple to protect oneself from HIV as long as you know the risks. This is not so, unfortunately. HIV is complex and heightened by gender inequities, violence, stigma, self-esteem, and much more. The City of Toronto is a leader in recognizing that the unique populations need unique services, and cutting these services is a regressive move that would leave people unserviced and unsupported. In the long run, this means added demands on health care, making prevention efforts vital. As a nonprofit organization, we harness the efforts of committed volunteers, and we're cost-effective with our work and essentially do more with less. The funding that we receive is an investment in the health of Toronto residents and not inconsequential fact. I would like to share with you my personal story of how I used ASAP services and how it's actually helped my personal and professional life. I arrived in Toronto from Winnipeg on December 2nd of 2000, and why would I do that? Well, Toronto is more diverse than the rest of Canada. It has the largest population of South Asian Canadians, and I found comfort in that, in knowing that I was not the only gay Tamil South Asian man in this country. Winnipeg can make you feel that way. I felt isolated as I did not identify with the mainstream culture.
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
Any questions? Yes. Councillor Wong Tam.
Thank you very much. What is the size of the South Asian population in Toronto?
There's approximately 300,000 South Asians as of 2006, and that's the statistics off the City of Toronto website.
And how many languages does your agency provide?
We provide all the main languages and brochures and translations in all the languages of South Asian dialects.
How many is that?
It's over 10, I believe.
And is there any other agency or hospital that's providing the same service that you are?
Not specific to HIV and AIDS, no.
So you're the only culturally and linguistically appropriate service for the South Asian community dealing with AIDS prevention.
That's correct. And sexual orientation and sexual health.
And if the City of Toronto took away the AIDS funding, what would be the impact to your agency?
It would be huge. We fund 3 positions from the $80,000 that we receive from your city, or from the city, and it actually means a lot of support groups will be cut, 3 staff members will be lost, and $80,000 is quite.
Thank you,
we
sir.
do a lot with that.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, 289, Fausto. 289, Fausto? No, Fausto? Okay. 290, Marty Poos? Marty Poos? Is there Marty Poos there? No? Okay. All right, so I go to 291. Last page. No, yeah, that's it. You got me, Gordy. You got me right on the beat. Okay, 291, Brenda Hine. 291, Brenda Hine. All right, 292, Tanisha Campbell. 292, Tanisha Campbell. 293, Wallace Simpson. Wallace Simpson. All right. Yeah, 3 minutes, sir, starting now.
My name is Wallace Simpson. I'm a tenant living in Toronto Community Housing. I'm a member of Tenants for Social Housing, the We're Not For Sale group. I want to bring to your attention that cuts to public services and the sale of housing and other assets is most certainly cause for the disruption of the lives of everyone, especially the poor, the working poor, the disabled and seniors. We too are taxpayers. We too are part of what makes this city the great city that it is. It's hard for me to understand why, when most cities are looking at ways to increase services and better maintain and grow their assets, like affordable social housing, Toronto seeks ways to cut its much-needed services and sell its most valuable assets. Social housing, like childcare, recreation programs, and other public services, is an important part of what makes this city great. It provides a home for over 164,000 people in Toronto and provides the support that people need. In social housing, people create a sense of community, and tenants provide support for each other through tenant-led and partnership projects like community gardens, safety committees, food banks, and employment programs. We have heard from the mayor and some councillors that selling off social housing is a good way to deal with the city's budget crisis, while at the same time we're hearing from taxpayers across the city that social and affordable housing is something that needs to be preserved. We also heard in one of the KPMG reports that was presented to the Community Development and Recreation Committee that it's a priority to get more homeless people off the street and into social housing, which is fantastic, except for the fact that we're in the process of selling off the exact homes that we're trying to fill. Therefore, we ask that the Mayor and Council reconsider other ways of generating their perceived need of excessive funds, hold other levels of government accountable for their lack of funding and commitment to social housing, and put people first. Tenants of social housing should not be a scapegoat for a budget crisis we did not create. And I'm supposed to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Wallace. Question of you, Wallace, from Councillor Davis.
Coming again and for staying all night. And are you aware that KPMG recommendations in here are to shut the affordable housing office?
Yes.
Do you think that we should be shutting down the office that actually is there to develop new affordable housing?
I don't think you should be shutting anything down.
Okay, thank you.